What's up, ladies? Happy Friday. Good morning. It's nice and early today. I'm going to share this into our free Facebook group. Make sure you're there to really just help you with tips, tricks, and all the lifestyle pieces to live in the really fit, toned, healthy body that you love. So I'm going to share this to the group. Make sure you're there. Like I said, it's called Macro Tracking and Weightlifting for Women. And goodness, how do I share it? Normally I have my, there we go. Normally I have one of my support staff members do this for me. So give me just a second, ladies, and let's see if that's going to go through. Beautiful, beautiful. Giving you ladies a chance to jump on. So this morning I asked, what questions do you want me to go live about? What topics do you want me to go live about? And this was one that a beautiful woman just asked about literally like 10 minutes ago. So I'm really excited to chat through it. This is a very real thing, right? It's like, how do we go live our life as a fit, healthy, strong, powerful woman out in the real world, right? Not just in the confines of our home, essentially. So I will be talking through that today. However, on Thursday, so next week we have our masterclass, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday is going to be us trainers just introducing ourselves, sharing our story. Wednesday, we're really going to walk through, we actually have a lot of topics on Wednesday. We're going to walk through the truth about progress, how you should be viewing it, some things that are tripping up your progress. It's going to be a lot of like mindset tools essentially for viewing your progress and, really being able to achieve the result you want. Miss Shelby's so that's going to be Sierra. Shelby's going to talk a little bit about physique shaping. Some of the things you ladies have heard before, but there's so many new people and these pieces are insanely vital. So we're going to touch on those pieces to make sure you're really implementing them in your workout. And then Ashley is going to talk through a little bit of things about nutrition, especially for those of you ladies who feel like it's hormones. We're actually going to show you it's actually probably these things, right? So you can just take inventory of yourself and say, am I doing those things? Because if you are, for sure, they're taking away from your results. So you'll be able to fix your diet essentially a little bit with those. And then I'm going to come on Wednesday and I'm going to share two different clients and I'm going to share their metrics and their, not their food log, but like their macros to show you here's why, some women are getting incredible results and here's why some women are not. The woman I'm going to share who wasn't, she's actually still our client, both of them are, and she's really excited for me to share because she came to me and she's like, what's going on? I feel like I'm so consistent. Why aren't I seeing the results I want to see? And so we walk through together, like nitty gritty, all of her progress. And she was mind blown. She's like, that was so eye opening. And I'm like, you know what? That makes me realize like we should share this with everybody because I think it will really help you have that like light bulb moment of like, oh my gosh, maybe that's why I'm stuck. So that's going to be Wednesday. Ladies, on Thursday, this is going to be tons of strategy, like actual coaching strategy, which normally we don't share a lot of because we normally keep it for clients, right? But Katie's going to come on and she's going to share real deep strategy about how to live social during summer and hit your macros. So going camping, days at the lake, going to people's houses. So I'll tease it a little bit today. I will share some details today. But Thursday, like literally take notes because everything you'll be able to like instantly apply. Some of it is going to be mindset work in there as well. It's going to be hopefully the best masterclass we've ever done. We normally teach vision and things like that, but this time we're going to be really focused on actual strategy that you guys can walk away with and really apply. So if you'd like more information, just comment event or masterclass and I'll share that information. I'm also going to be giving away 3 physique shaping secrets, which includes a year's worth of workouts. So really awesome. It's not our one-on-one coaching program. It's like a self-led workout with an ebook that gives you tons of coaching strategies. So it's like whatever you're facing, you can like search in the document, right? So it's almost like a manual for really fit, healthy living. I'm super excited. We'll be launching it brand new next week. So we'll be giving away 3 of those to women. So really excited about that. What's up, Lorraine? Good morning, my love. Yeah, girl, absolutely. Also, send me a message. I'll help you with whatever you want. Okay, cool. All right, ladies. So let's dive right in. I'm going to reference my notes like I always do. Okay, so we're talking about hitting your macros while traveling, being at parties, being social, going to people's houses, like essentially being out of your house, right? So again, some of the social or the summer events I'll leave for Katie next Thursday. So I'll just mainly talk about traveling and being at other people's houses right now. So you probably feel really overwhelmed at the thought of this. Let me know in the chat. Appreciate you, girl. Let me know in the chat. Does anyone feel so overwhelmed by this? Like sometimes it might feel so overwhelming that you're like, I'm not even going to track, right? I'm just going to do my best and I'll just track tomorrow because this is insane. Like, how am I even supposed to do this, right? Let me know if that's you. I'm going to keep diving in. Now, it may feel like maybe I could track, but it's impossible to be compliant. It's impossible to hit my macros, be out of my house, have no control over what I'm eating. Like, I don't even know where to start, right? That it's a very real thing. And so let's talk through some strategy today. So, of course, the problem is lacking tools, but also, ladies, the problem is lacking practice, right? You can have all the tools in the world, and that is necessary, but it also requires you to practice, right? It's like instant feedback, right? Let's say that you're tracking for a week and then you take your measurements and all your measurements went up. It's like, oh shoot, that's feedback to tell me either my macros are not correct or something I'm doing habit-wise is not in alignment with what I want, right? So practice is vital. And even if something happens in a direction that you don't want it to go, that's not a bad thing. It's actually not a bad thing at all because it's giving you awareness and it's allowing you to self-assess and say, okay, well, what were my habits the past week, right? Ladies, if you have not read the book Atomic Habits or listened on Audible, prioritize that. Like, it's an incredible book. I'm going through it right now and I'm kicking myself for not going through it earlier. Like, it's absolutely incredible. Okay. So here's the solution for traveling. Okay. This one is the easiest of the three, parties and being at people's houses, because you have way more control, right? Now, I totally understand that a lot of you ladies travel for business. And so you have company like lunches or dinners. I will talk through that. We actually have many, many, many clients that go through that as well. It's a very real thing. So the reason this one is the easiest is because you can pack food with you, but also you can hit the grocery store when you get there, right? So let's talk about the grocery store first. Ladies, pre-planning is everything. No matter what, pre-planning is everything because if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail 100% of the time, right? Because if you're not pre-planning, you're shooting from the hip. You're hoping it evens out or you get into compliance at the end of the day. And that just like rarely to never happens because there's no plan or strategy behind it. You're like, oh, hopefully this fits. And you're typically just left with a ton of protein, a lot of calories or no calories. And it's just like not an efficient way. It's also not the healthiest way, right? Because it's like you need to plan in your vegetables and your fruit and your lean meats because when you're hungry, do you really want to go for like the asparagus and the strawberries and the chicken? Probably not, right? But if it's pre-planned, you're like, okay, sweet, this is my meal. Let me get this stuff out of the fridge, right? So it's less thinking when you're hungry, which is smart. Because when you're hungry, you're just grabbing stuff that's going to like immediately help you feel satiated, right? Okay. So let's go back to pre-planning. So of course, pre-plan your restaurants, your company lunches and dinners. I'll talk about that in a second, and your food that you can go pick up. Now, I hear you saying, I don't know what the company lunch is. I don't know what the company dinner is. I have no idea. That's okay. Remember, this lifestyle is not perfect. No lifestyle is ever perfect. No tracking habit is ever perfect, right? So what we recommend is, for example, you have a company lunch. You have no clue what it's going to be there, right? In MyFitnessPal, you can do what's called a quick add. It's like a button and it says quick add. And you can just type in whatever macros you want and it's like a placeholder, right? Quick add is an amazing tool when you don't know what's going to be at something, okay? So quick add for that company lunch. You're like, what macros do I click at, right? This is going to vary per woman because every woman has different macros, right? No two women can have the same macros. Very quick tangent on that. Someone posted in the Facebook group, I posted that video. I was like showing my body fat percentage and my height and my weight. And she said, oh, my height and weight is the same. What are your macros? They're probably the same for me. I'm like, hell no, they're not the same for you. Like for me, 2,500 calories is a deficit. For her, that might be a 15% surplus, right? A surplus, like 15% over maintenance, right? Why is that? Muscle mass. The more muscle mass you have, the more food you can handle. Right now, I'm eating 2,700 calories, and I'm probably going to go up again because I'm trying to find my maintenance, right? That's not the same for anyone else. Someone who has more muscle mass or less, or whatever it is, like every single woman is unique. Don't ever compare your macros to someone else because it doesn't make sense. Every woman is extremely unique and you need your own macros. You're not taking the same amount of steps every day as someone, the same activity, the same brain power, or when you're thinking and doing things, it takes energy. It takes carbohydrates, right? So it's like, you just can't compare your macros. Your life is totally different than someone next to you, okay? And how your body's made up. Okay. All right, ladies, where was I? So yeah, so for the quick ad, right? So just as an example, we don't want to do much protein in a quick ad because think about it. If you go anywhere, it's really hard to get protein, right? If you go to someone's house, yeah, they might have like chicken, but it's probably chicken thigh with oil and condiments and pasta and all this other crap. And it's like so much calories and really low protein, right? So I would recommend only leaving like 25, maybe 30 grams of protein or putting in that for your quick ad, okay? And then I would do a good amount of fat and a good amount of carbohydrate. For some of you, that may be 50 grams of carbohydrate and like 25 grams of fat and then like 25 grams of protein. That is a pretty big meal for a lot of you, but at the same time, it allows for the space. And so when you are out for the company lunch, if they're only offering pizza and some other crap, it's like, okay, not ideal, but I actually put in my macros to accommodate for that type of food. Does that make sense? Let me know if you have questions on that, okay? Now, when you're at that company lunch or whatever it is, take inventory and say, what's around me? What options do I have right now? And how can I modify this in a way that you feel comfortable? Because some of you who are new to this, you may not feel comfortable standing up for yourself with nutrition, and that's okay. It'll come with time. I used to be there. It was awkward and embarrassing, but I'll talk through that a little bit as well today, but don't worry about it, right? People are negative or attacking on things they don't understand. It's not that they're trying to be rude. I think in a lot of cases, they just don't understand it. So they might be asking questions, not to put you down, but to try to understand what the heck you're doing, right? Because it's different and that's okay. It's weird. Being fit and healthy is different than most of the world. It's like the saddest thing. So anyway, do your quick ad for that company lunch, take inventory and say, how can I make this as healthy as possible? If it's a sandwich, awesome. I pray to God the condiments are on the side, but a lot of them are not. What I would personally do is I would grab 2 sandwiches. I would eat one of them and take the meat and the veggie out of the other one and smash it in the other one. And if someone's like, what are you doing? I'm like, protein and vegetables. Like, what are you doing? But again, it takes some time to have that confidence. But when your conviction is stronger than theirs, you can share anything you want because no matter what they say, you know what to say back because your conviction is so strong. Like, what do you mean? This isn't weird. I need more protein. The makers of this aren't health nuts, so they didn't put enough protein in for me. I want my protein. Does that make sense, ladies? Like, I hope that empowers you to stand up for your nutrition a little bit. It doesn't have to feel scary just to be different. Like, stand out. It's all right. That's you being a leader, right? To those around you, whether they understand it in that moment or not. You're still planting seeds of health and fitness for them at a later date because they're going to think about that probably. They're like, what was she doing? Maybe I should have more protein, right? Okay. So I'll move on from there. If you have more questions on that, just shoot me a message or comment. There's so much more I could share, but I don't want to talk about it for too long because I want to make sure to go through these other pieces as well. Okay. All right, so that was like company lunches. The same thing, the exact same thing can be done at people's houses and at parties, right? Doing the quick ad. And then, ladies, make sure you're pre-planning the rest of your day around it. So what do I mean by that? Well, you had a small-ish amount of protein, high carb, high fat, moderate to high fat for the quick ad. Well, the rest of your day is probably going to be filled with lean protein, vegetables, and fruit. Because when you're out at people's houses or out at your company, whatever, or at a party, are they going to have just so many vegetables for you to eat? Probably not, right? So we really want to make sure we're filling our plate and our day with fruits, veggies, proteins, really healthy, complex carbohydrates. So then when we go to that event, that's our play food. So it's okay if it's not as healthy, it's not as high quality. Don't worry about it. You're accommodating for that already. So then you can enjoy it guilt-free and still hit your goals. Now, are you going to track and weigh, or excuse me, are you going to weigh your food at parties, at restaurants, at company things, at people's houses? No, more than likely not, right? I mean, it's not something that people do. So is your quick ad entry going to be exactly accurate? No, it's not, but that's okay, right? It gets more accurate with practice. It gets more accurate the more committed you are to the process, for sure, right? Always track more than you think it is versus under. Don't track it because it looks good on my fitness pal. Over track it and you'll feel like, ooh, that looks ugly. That's not ideal to have in my fitness pal. It's like, well, that's life and that's our culture and that's okay, right? It's just part of it. We can't control how they're cooking that meal for us, you know? Um, Okay. Again, please let me know if you have questions. Oh, you know what I just realized? I bet Lorraine, I bet you're commenting on my personal page so I can see your comments. I don't think I can see the comments in the group. Go ahead and keep commenting if you are. I'll pop in at the end of this and I'll answer all those questions. Okay. Facebook groups don't let us stream there anymore. It's crazy. Okay, so let's, ladies, talk through restaurants, and then I'm going to talk through how to, like, if you're traveling, how to have like all the food in your hotel or wherever you are. Okay, so I'll quickly go through restaurants and then I'll dive into that. So restaurants can be a little bit tricky with tracking, but it's easier than going to social events, parties, people's houses, because a lot of times, and especially nowadays, more and more restaurants are providing macros, which is incredible. It's incredible. Now, to be on track during all these things, does it take time? Yeah, it does. Being fit and healthy, taking care of your body, having high daily energy, setting the example for others takes effort and intention, right? Make the time for that. In your travel plans, make the time to go grocery shopping, make the time to sit there and look up a restaurant. Do it while you're on the Stairmaster, right? That's what I do. Kill two birds with one stone, or whatever you're doing. Make that time. If you're like, I don't have that time, then something else needs to go. Your fitness and nutrition and your family time should never be on the back burner. If it is, your boundaries are not strong enough somewhere else. If you're like, I can't set more boundaries, you can. It's there. Maybe you need a different job. Does that sound extreme? Sure. But is that job at the expense of your health and fitness worth it? Hell no. It is not worth it. Like, I need that though. Like, what else am I supposed to do? There's always a solution. There's always a solution. And degrading in our bodies and taking away the time for our health and fitness to go put that time somewhere else, that's a problem, right? That's a major problem that needs a solution. I heard something yesterday. I think it was in Atomic Habits. He said a poorly managed schedule, or something like, time is the enemy for a poorly managed schedule, but time is an asset or something like that for a properly managed schedule, right? Quick example, I had to fire my babysitter. Right now, I have my kid with me 24/7. 24/7, and I own a business and I work with clients and do live videos and I'm writing a book and I have my own training, right? You guys, I train hours per day, posing, lifting, cardio, like doing all this stuff. I need quality time with my kid. I cook a ton, I eat a ton, I got to do all the dishes. I'm the only house cleaner, right? My time is exactly tracked at all times. And when I don't, I feel chaotic and rushed, and things aren't getting done as much as they should. I have the same amount of time. What's the variable that's causing things to be chaotic or things to run smoothly? It's how I'm managing my schedule, right? So take inventory, get your schedule on point, put forth that habit of discipline, and your life will get so much easier and so much better. Discipline should be celebrated, right? Is it kind of harder to create that habit? Of course, right? It's easier to sit on your butt and eat chips and watch Netflix. But is that the life we want to live? No, it's not, right? We must focus on our systems, not our goal or outcome, but our systems. Because when our systems are in the right place, we automatically accomplish our goal. We automatically get the process, or excuse me, the outcome that we want, because our systems were created to get there. Lorraine, the gal that's been commenting, she's my client right now. I don't personally take clients anymore, but I had to fire someone, and we really focus on high quality training, and I didn't want to overload my other trainers. And so I'm like, look, I'm training you now. And we talk about pre-planning, and that was the first thing we worked through. It was like, dude, you got to pre-plan every single day. She's like, yeah, I know. And she's been doing it and crushing it. Like exponential growth happened for her because she started putting in the work and pre-planning. I messaged her. I love you, Lorraine. Awesome. I messaged her the other day. I said, Lorraine, are you still pre-planning? She's like, of course. I'd be lost without it. I'm like, exactly right. That's exactly right. Like, it's awesome, right? It's so vital. It puts you in control. It keeps you in control. Can that pre-planning change throughout the day? Of course. And it probably will. Maybe not all the time, but it probably will. Who cares? Delete the entry, put in the new entry, but you have that space already allotted. Not with 60 grams of protein, but with a healthy, balanced amount of macros, so you can then fit whatever you're craving at that time within those macros, okay? Let me know if you have questions. Yeah, girl, pre-planning is key. Okay. So at restaurants, like I said, it can be a little tricky. So take the time, like your travel itinerary, say, okay, where am I going to eat? What's my plan to eat all throughout the day? If you're like, I have no idea. I don't know the itinerary. Message your boss. Yo, what's the itinerary, right? Got to stand up for yourself. Put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to be weird. Don't be afraid to be noisy. Don't be afraid to get up and say, hey, I really need this information. If they're like, I don't know, be like, okay, control our controllables. Then we don't know, and that's okay. Quick ads. Use those quick ads, okay? So look up restaurants nearby and say, okay, which is the healthiest? I like to choose higher end restaurants. Sure. Is it a little bit more expensive? Yeah, you bet. But the quality of the ingredients is much better. And you can get a grilled chicken salad. It's not too much, right? Less than $20. But the ingredients are way better than like a diner or like just the kind of the crappier food options, right? The fat's way higher. The food quality is way lower. You feel like just kind of garbage. The macros are, again, way higher. You get to eat less food. Like, it's just not worth it. Pay the extra money to take care of your body, right? Okay, so, and then type in that restaurant name and put nutrition facts. A lot of times their calories will actually pop up. It's so cool. And their macros will pop up, which is cool. Sometimes they don't. No problem. Look at the menu and say, okay, what am I going to order? Then go into MyFitnessPal and type in the restaurant name. A lot of times the restaurants pop up. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're like, okay, none of that works. So what do I do now? A couple different things. One, at restaurants, make sure you're choosing healthy options. The calories can get so high, right? You've probably heard me say this before, but some of my go-tos, always, I love salads. I love getting in all the vegetables. I get dressing on the side. I dip my fork and then dip the food. It's delicious. The more you eat healthy, the more you crave that stuff, right? It's so good. It feels good to eat that. It's really satiating for the most part. Sometimes you need to get a side of something, and that's okay. Add grilled meats, right? Okay, but another one is like grilled fish tacos, grilled chicken tacos, lean steak tacos, condiments on the side always. It'll save you hundreds and hundreds of calories. It's surprising, actually. They always give you so much. If those aren't on the menu, right, you can get like an ahi tuna bowl, for example. That's a good one. Condiments on the side. You can get like a meat, veg, carb, like was it roasted or however they cook it, or grilled, I guess, salmon. Usually it comes with like green beans and potatoes. Awesome, right? Be careful with the carbohydrate. At restaurants, the protein option is usually 4 ounces. Okay. The vegetables aren't too, like, it's not that big of a deal because it's such low calorie when tracking. I would track like 150 grams. It's probably less, but ask them, hey, can you cook that with no oil? And they might be like, really? I actually haven't got that one lately. Normally they've just been saying yes, but I've gotten that in the past. They're like, really? That the reason they say really is because it's flavor, right? Fat. It's flavor. I'm like, yeah, for sure. I love the taste of the food. I don't need all that oil. I don't want all that oil. Just make me feel good, right? They still come with oil every single time. So track like a tablespoon of oil. Does it look good for the macros? No. But is it being realistic for what you're eating and help you hit your goals and practicing the self-discipline to track it, even if you don't want to see it? Yes, right? Be careful with the carb. They give you a ton of it. So possibly eat half, right? We say at Queens of Iron, never tracking cups and tablespoons. It's extraordinarily inaccurate. It reigns true today for sure. We had a client challenge me on that. She's like, no, I think it's the same. I'm like, no problem, I'll track it. Her breakfast was double the amount of calories than she thought it was. She's like, I cannot believe that. I'm like, I wouldn't tell you something that was a waste of your time, right? It's crazy. It's like, it's crazy how inaccurate it is. However, at restaurants, as you're learning, it might be easier to track in cups and tablespoons, and that's okay because you're visualizing it, right? However, the more you practice on the scale, the easier it is to visualize in grams, which is cool. I track everything in grams, 100% of everything in grams. It's a small unit of measure, right? So it's super accurate. I put these cocoa nibs on the scale yesterday. It said 0. I was like, yes. I was like, no, no, no. So I tracked 2 grams, right? Even though it said 0, it was so small. So that was kind of a funny thing. But all right, cool. Let's move on. Okay, the next thing, let me go to all the, I made a list of all these things for a grocery store, okay? So when you're traveling, hit up the grocery store, make time in your flight or in your travel that when you arrive, you check in your hotel, you put your stuff away, and you have space and time to go to the grocery store, okay? So here's some things to get. Usually you can get a container of pulled white meat chicken. I get this every single week at home. It's wonderful. Or if they don't have that, you can get a container of a grilled chicken breast or whatever it is. A health food store, New Seasons, Sprouts Farmers Market, Trader Joe's, places like that will have it. It's awesome. No prep time. And the macros are on there. It's like just protein. Okay. Grab fruits and vegetables that you don't have to prepare. Bananas, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, apples, snap peas, those like mini snacking peppers. What else did I write? Carrots, right? That you can just grab and go from your hotel. Okay. Grab a small bag of nuts, skinny dip chocolate almonds, pistachios, cashews, whatever it is. Don't get too big of one because they're so tasty that it's easy to grab a ton and it's loads of calories. Okay. Now, for those of you following my journey, I just increased my macros. I'm at 2,700 calories now, and I'm eating, 364 grams of carbohydrate. Did you know that actually the majority of my carbohydrate, even at that high of amount, is actually filled with fruits and vegetables? I just showed my clients all my food logs today. The only things that were not fruits and vegetables that I can remember off the top of my head were like a perfect bar has some carbs in there, naan bread, NAAN bread, rice, and I think like a Healthy Ones fudge bar or whatever. If I could, I would fill it with fruits and vegetables, but my fiber is so high that it can make you constipated. And so I've been trying to be more careful with that. But it's like, I think you guys don't realize, like, fruits and vegetables are amazing, and you can really fill like almost all your carbohydrate with fruits and vegetables. So when you're traveling, it's like, just get your protein, get your fruits and vegetables, because everything else is really readily available, right? Like higher calorie, higher fat, higher carb foods. Okay. All the vegetables and fruit helps you hit your fiber goal. It gives you a lot of vitamins and minerals and gives you natural energy. A couple days ago, I took my son on a hike, right, trying to get his energy out so I can work in peace. And we did almost 2 miles, which is a lot. He just turned 5. Okay, it's quite a bit. It was like up and down terrain. Almost halfway through, I kept saying, I'm like, dude, do you want to turn around? Do you want to turn around? Because I was afraid he was going to make me carry him. I'm like, dude, I cannot carry you. Okay. And almost halfway through, he's like, Mom, I have no energy. I need you to carry me. I'm like, son, I'm not carrying you. We're going to take a pause and you're going to have a snack. And he had a couple of those fruit and veggie pouches. And he screwed the lid on and he goes, how much energy now? I'm totally good. I was just cracking up. I'm like, I love it, kiddo. It's not that your body was tired, or I mean, his body was tired, but it's like, we think we need to quit, but actually we just need carbohydrates. We just need that boost of energy. And fruit is a beautiful way to get that, especially when you're active, right? It's so funny. He literally did another 0.75 mile after that, after he wanted to quit. I said, no, dude, have this snack. And then it was just like such a light bulb. Oh my gosh, I have all this energy now. It was so cute. Okay, so some other things you can get at the grocery store. Nan bread, like I just said. I get those like, they're like this big. So it's like, I can just grab like 5 of them. It's awesome. I snack on them sometimes when I'm cooking. But it's so easy to just grab out the house or out the hotel. Light Laughing Cow cheese wedges. Okay, Nan bread with cottage cheese or the Light Laughing Cow cheese wedge with beets and with honey on top is so good, and really quality ingredients, right? So there's a little snack for you. Skinny pop popcorn, if that's your thing, right? To have a little snack at night. Don't try to limit yourself like, oh, I can't eat at night at all to try to lose fat. It's like, yeah, you can. Let's just focus on eating healthy foods, balancing and spacing our meals, and stop putting so much pressure on ourselves. Like, I can't eat after 5. It's like, okay, well, I ate 50 grams of carbs at 9:30 at night the other day and then woke up and peeled all my lips, right? Yeah, it was healthy food, but it was like, just don't worry about stuff like that. Focus on your foundation, ladies. What's your foundation? Hitting the gym with intention, getting enough sleep at night, over 7 hours per night, getting 500 grams of veg, 300 grams of fruit per day, getting in your steps. For me, well, it's a lot. I won't even share how many, but aim for about 10K steps per day. Okay. That's the minimum I aim to hit. The other day I did 17,000. I was exhausted. I'm like, okay, tone it down. But we played pickleball for like 2 hours. But so yeah, what else are the foundation? And then just filling your macros with high quality food and focusing here on your thought life, because so much of this comes from here. Okay. This video is much longer than I anticipated. So let me keep moving on. Okay. Actually, I'm almost done. So here's the thing when traveling and parties and all of that is you actually just need to make the decision. It's actually the same with being compliant in your nutrition at home. It's making the decision to say, I'm going to be compliant no matter what. When you choose that, being compliant is actually a cinch. It's the only option. It actually gets fun. It gets really enjoyable because you feel amazing. Your results are consistent week after week after week after week. You have more energy. You feel better mentally, physically, and emotionally. It gets so much better. But when you say, yeah, I'll try to make it happen, it never does. You're giving yourself permission to not do it. So then you're like, oh, I just can make it happen. Yeah, you could. It was a decision. It was a decision. I decide to get all my work done, even when my kid's home 24/7. I decide to hit my macros no matter what. And I do 7 days a week, every single week. Is it hard for me? No, it's not, because I plan it out. And I've already decided here. So if something comes up like, oh, I'm so hungry, go eat that thing. It's like, no, I'm not eating that. I'll eat tomorrow. I'm all good. I'll drink some water. I'll drink some tea. I'm all good. Notice I captivated that thought and I said, no, I'm not doing that. It's like your toddler self. Do it. I want it. No, love, we're not doing that. We're doing this instead. That is creating healthy thought patterns that get stronger and stronger and stronger the more you do it. But if you give in, you're strengthening and feeding the opposite direction you want to go. Don't do that, right? You won't be perfect every day, and that's okay. You don't have to be. It's a part of the journey. but strengthen the direction you want to go, whether it feels good in the moment or not, because it will feel really good at the end of the day. I lost some of you there. Discipline is not sexy sometimes, but it's all right. It's all right. Okay. Now, parties, eating at people's houses. We pretty much already talked through that. The one last thing that I'll share about it is you really need to practice self-discipline, right? For example, my kid says, Mom, try these like chocolate oat balls that we have. They're really good. And part of me is like, oh, he's being so generous and so sweet. I don't want to be like, no, kid, I can't have that. But I do. I say, sweetie, thank you so much for your generosity. That is so kind of you. I know they're really yummy, but actually I'm a professional athlete and I have to check on my food right now so I can make sure to really hit my goals and get stronger. So although I so appreciate you sharing that with me, I'm just going to drink my water for now and then we can eat at home. He's like, what? Don't you want it? I'm like, oh, babe, I do want it. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. And again, like you're being so kind and generous. I really appreciate you doing that. I love your behavior right now. Thank you so much for doing that. But right now, mommy got goals, son. And so I'm just going to focus on, my discipline and my habits that I got to do. I'm going to sip my water. And then I'm really excited to have this dinner with you when we get home. Reframing, helping them reframe, whether it's an adult or a child. Someone says, try this. I made it. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I would love to have it. You feel bad for saying no. It's setting boundaries and standing up for yourself and not people pleasing. And I know that might seem harsh, but it doesn't have to be harsh. It's explaining to them in an educational way to say, oh, that does look really good. You know what though? I'm so excited. Like I'm on this journey and really tracking my food. And so I just want to practice sticking with my habits. Like I so appreciate that. And you did an amazing job. Like look how good that looks. Like I'm really proud of you. Try it. You tell me how it is so I can live through you. You make it light and enjoyable and in a way that appreciates them, but that still holds boundaries for your goals. It's not easy at first, but it's empowering. And it also like helps people see you set boundaries for yourself, which helps them have permission to set boundaries for themselves. Right? All right, cool. Awesome. So I'm just going to actually read this. Thanks, Lorraine. I'm going to read this comment that I said. I said, ladies, the way to create the fit, toned, healthy body that gives you the utmost confidence and daily energy requires you to put forth continuous effort and intention around your food, habits, and lifestyle. You must create the habits that automatically result in the outcome you want, which is your systems, right? We just talked about that. Systems, which includes how you think and talk. Think and talk. I'm so tired. I don't want to work out today. No, I'm tired. I hear you. I see you. And I'm so proud of you for showing up anyway. I'm so proud of you for doing this. You did the Stairmaster for an hour. Oh my gosh. You just did that. You just did that. Uplifting ourselves, encouraging ourselves, cheering ourselves on, and doing that for others. That helps this lifestyle more because you're not working against yourself in your thoughts. You have to work with yourself in your thoughts. Acknowledge that you feel a certain way, validate your feelings, love yourself, but then choose a different path. I hear that you're tired, babe, but I know you can do this. Get up. We're making it happen because you're strong, you're resilient, you're powerful. We can do this. Let's go. Make it fun, exciting, powerful. It's easier that way. Okay. Let me hop on the Facebook group and see if there's any comments that I can answer. If you guys have questions, comments, topics, share them, you guys. This is definitely a, okay. Can you even actually comment on that? It's so confusing now that that I can't stream in the group directly now. So now it's all on my thing. Lorraine, where are you commenting? You must be on the business page because I don't see you actually anywhere on there. Okay, ladies, if you have questions, send me a message or a comment. I'll find it somewhere. I will find it, okay? All right, beauties. I hope that encouraged you today and provided you with a lot of actionable tools you can use. And I hope it got you thinking to say, how can I think differently? Or how can I show up differently in my habits today, right? And go download Atomic Habits on Audible. Okay, ladies, have a great day. I appreciate you being here and I value you so very much. See you later.